Welcome back to the channel, guys. As you can tell, this video is a little bit different because we are in Japan with the Toyota GR Yaris. We're gonna take it around this famous initial D roads, which you might recognize if you watch the anime. And then we'll head to Fuji Speedway, where we're gonna do a few laps and maybe head a bit closer to Mount Fuji. All right, let's begin. Wait, wrong side of the car. This car is a Toyota hot hatch, if you want to hugely downplay it, because it is much more exciting and significant than that. It's very much not just a Yaris. Here's the rundown. The regulations that govern top line rallying dictates that the car has to be based on an existing road car. This is called homologation. In the past, the rules says that you only need a couple hundred, but now the rule says that you need 25,000 road vehicles, which is much harder for a company to do. Now you have to manufacture a car that can cater to your average Aunt Helen that wants rear headroom and trunk space, while also catering to the average car enthusiast that wants upper brake kits and an aero package. The two are just very far apart. So what if you built one from scratch? Not only do you have to sell 25,000 units, and the initial investment required is insane. So no manufacturer has ever done this. In rallying, it's mostly just streetcar Volkswagens and Peugeots that has dominated WRC. Until now, because Toyota has went ahead and designed this rally car from the ground up. It still has some compromises that will make Aunt Helen happy, but it's designed as a hot hatch and a rally car first. Right now we're on the Hakone skyline, which you might recognize from Initial D if you ever watched that. There's Mount Fuji right in the back over there, and this road is incredible. This thing just drives so nicely, oh my god. Especially on these tight Japanese roads, the small body of this GR Yaris just fits perfectly. Steering is quite direct. Pretty much no understeer, actually. Oh my god, okay. The amount of G's that you can push in this car is incredible. The roof is carbon fiber, saving about 3.5 kilos of weight. The door skins, bonnet, tailgate are all aluminum, removing another 24 kilos. It's not even a Yaris chassis. The front half is, but the back is adapted from the Corolla and the CHR. There are 4,175 load points, 259 more than the regular Yaris. The rigidity of a safe, basically. It has the same wheelbase as the regular Yaris, although it is about 55 millimeters longer, 60 millimeters wider, and 45 millimeters lower. Under the hood, we have the world's most powerful 3-cylinder engine, a turbocharged 1.6 liter, making 275 horsepower and 266 pound-feet of torque. It's a single turbo setup on ball bearings, while the engine itself is hydraulically mounted on one side to reduce vibrations and unwanted movement. This sort of tech is what you'd find in supercars. Let's drop another gear, first gear. Oh my god, I love how it bounces off the rev limiter. No paddle shifters here because we do get a 6-speed manual transmission, and that's the only thing that you can get in this car, which is absolutely perfect. The clutch is actually pretty well weighted, and it's actually kind of short, not too long. The throws are pretty short too, but not like the Civic Type R. It does click into place really nicely, and it just makes it very easy to roll through the gears. You also have an IMT button over here, which is your intelligent manual transmission button, and that means you get active rev matching, and it actually works pretty well, actually. I do like the fact that it is a physical button. In a lot of cars, they make you dig through a bunch of menus to turn it on and off. So that's pretty good. The 4-wheel drive system is claimed to be the lightest on the market. Lightest, but not the most basic. There's an aluminum central transfer case, and in normal mode, the torque split is about 60 front and 40 to the rear. That alters depending on which mode you choose. In sport mode, it's about 30 in the front and 70 in the rear. And in track mode, it's 50-50. We're gonna put it into sport mode right now. Get the rear kicking a little bit. Yeah, this thing's planted. It's not gonna oversteer very much. Again, it's not a rear-wheel drive car. That 30-70 split isn't always gonna be 30-70. It will change. It means up to 70% power in the rear. You do get a little display here, which will show you your torque distribution. And because it's a very small and light system, it can overheat, so it might not send all the power to the rear if you're just hammering it all the time. This car weighs 2,821 pounds and good for 60 miles per hour in 5.3 seconds. Let's come to a full stop and we can test that out right now. I'm gonna throw it into track mode. Yeah, this thing is awesome. It feels much faster than the power suggests. This thing is designed for small back roads like this one. It's small, it's light, and it has a very punchy dynamic and a very gutsy motor. It's a deeply compelling machine. The suspension geometry is set up perfectly. It is a little bit on the harsher side, just a tiny bit, because it is a 3-cylinder engine and not a typical 4-cylinder. You will kind of have to wind out the engine. You will have to work for it. I am sending it in 3rd gear. You really won't get that power unless you're very high up in the RPM. So it actually makes it very fun. It makes you really work for it. I feel like it doesn't have that Civic Type R smoothness and linear power band. And it's also not as dialed like the Type R is, in my opinion. The way that car drives is like perfect harmony. It's super silky, and it's very linear and it's fast. This car, however, has a much more rugged approach, and it's arguably better at delivering a more entertaining driving experience, especially in any weather, because you do get that all-wheel drive that you don't get in most other hot hatches. Yeah, this thing just throws your seat. 2nd gear. Okay. Yeah, this thing is perfect, and it sounds great too. Alright, Fuji Speedway, we are following a pace car. Let's throw it into this corner around the chicane. Rev limiter. Driving a manual. This thing is awesome. Holy crap, okay. That rotation too. Okay. We are in track mode for track, which means distribution is about 50-50. This corner. Very minimal understeer here. It pretty much just hooks the road. Alright, let's cut through this section. Suspension isn't all that firm, to be honest. It is a pretty good mix for daily and track use. Checking out the outside of this GR Yaris, you do get a wider body kit compared to the regular Yaris. It does look really good. It's actually pretty aggressive looking, especially for how small this car looks. And this black, especially at nighttime, looks so cool. You do actually get real brake vents and your real air intake in the front bumper. That's really nice. I love the wheels and the exhaust in the back. I think it does look pretty cute and mean at the same time. The interior in the GR Yaris is pretty standard. You get nicely bolstered seats and a manual handbrake. You do of course get your Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. You have your adaptive cruise control with lane keep assist, blind spot monitors, a traditional dashboard, which is okay because you do have a heads-up display in this car, which is really nice. The interior overall isn't as nice as like the Civic Type R. It feels more traditional, it feels raw, which is kind of the whole theme of this car. It has what you need tech-wise and nothing more. Quite frankly, they could make this interior a whole lot worse and people would still want it and buy it just because of how genuine and pure this car is. It reminds you of the early 2000s, like the JDM cars back then before everything became digitized, and it's a nice reminder of how things used to be. Unfortunately, this car isn't available in North America, but we do get the GR Corolla, which is honestly a better version of this car. However, I still did wish it was available. It's genuinely an exciting car. It's a hot hatch with a real purpose in life. After all, when was the last time we had a proper rally homologation special? Not since the Imprezas and the Evos of the 90s. This is a once-in-a-generation special, and the best news of all is that Toyota has smashed it out the park. That's all guys, thanks for watching.